What's up, guys? Ian here, coach of your Ladner Lanturn, bringing you guys our quarterfinals match, taking on Vic and the Houndoom Hercules. Interesting matchup here. It's not going to be super in-depth. If you guys haven't seen the team builder, you should check that out. I go really in-depth about my team and what I think he's going to bring and whatnot. Only surprise here is seeing the Blissey over the Conkelder. I really expected the first 6, but I was definitely considering the Blissey and the Magnezone in my prep as well. Not really much more to say about that. So I'm not going to cover the team whatsoever. Again, this is the playoffs, so hopefully you go and check out the team builder. Again, it's very important. I put a lot of time and effort into talking about my team in that video. So I'm just going to lead off here with my Persian. It's got a really good matchup against everything that would want to lead against me. I can maybe choose the move from the Talonflame or Parting Shot out on it potentially, but yeah, that's what I'm going to do here for me with the Persian. And I'm just going to taunt this Necrozma turn 1 so he can't set up rocks or anything like that. And he's going to go for the Heat Wave. So that shows to be offensive, honestly. It's about 50%. 50% is about max special attack damage. So I'm not entirely sure what to expect from it. But I am just going to U-turn. It's a lot safer for me to click U-turn rather than Parting Shot this early on. Because A, it'll get damage off on the Necrozma. And B, I'll be able to avoid any chance of Superior coming in on a Parting Shot. So I'm running both Parting Shot and U-turn for that purpose. I am going to crit him, and then he's going to be able to crit me back on my Clefable with the Heat Wave. So neither of those really mattered all that much because I'm Wish Clefable anyways, and I'm just going to throw up a Wish this turn regardless. And he's getting Leftovers recovery as I'm wishing up with my Clefable anyways. So it's not overly going to matter that much as I'm going to get a Protect off on the Manaphy switch in. And throw an Encore onto this Manaphy just in case he wanted to set up on me. But he's Toxic, so it's kind of interesting that he's a Toxic variant and that he opted to Toxic my Clefable. He probably was expecting the Unaware. I didn't necessarily have to be Unaware this game, but I opted into being Unaware rather than a Magic Guard set. Actually, a Magic Guard Clefable would have been really annoying for him to deal with unless he was in with this Manaphy. Potentially, if I was soft-boiled Encore instead of Wish Protect, and then like Calm Mind Moonblast, maybe either expecting the Magnezone or just not giving a shit about the Magnezone, I could have put myself in a much better position with this Clefable here, actually, because I wouldn't have been in a bad spot, right? He would have been locked in a Toxic here. I get to Calm Mind up, and then at a certain point, his Tail Glow won't matter anymore. That actually would have been an idea. I didn't consider that in prep. Mainly because I thought that I wasn't going to get the opportunity to set up necessarily against him, but that is what I'm going to go for. It's just the Moonblast here, and we'll get a little bit of damage off on the Necrozma. Would have been nice to get the special attack drop there, but I'm not going to be able to be that lucky. So I'm going to double into my Reuniclus here on the Photon Geyser. I know it's coming, and it's not going to do all that much to the Reuniclus. I didn't bother calculating this, but I'm obviously not Leftovers. I'm Culverberry here as he clicks Dark Pulse on my Calm Mind. And now I'm sitting in a really good spot here, actually. I'm a +1 Reuniclus sitting at 50%. This is a solid turn for me here. I can click Recover here really easily and just start recovering on this Necrozma and then getting a Calm Mind off. He's shown 3 attacks and he hasn't shown Calm Mind, so it's likely that Moonlight is his last option. So he's just like 3 attacks recovery rather than any sort of setup variant of Necrozma, which makes me feel stupid clicking Taunt turn 1, but I've lost to so many setup Necrozmas. This Mon is just the bane of my fucking existence. It's honestly the most ridiculous piece of shit I've ever faced in my entire life, and I just hate myself every single time I play against Necrozma. Yeah, so I'm going to go for the recovery here as he's going to Dark Pulse, and he's going to crit me. Yep. That happened. I have to admit, I'm a lot less salty now than I was right after playing the game, because I basically... I got pretty fucking mad about that, honestly, just in my own head. I wasn't like exploding or anything. I was trying to have a rational discussion about it after the match, but man, that Reuniclus just beat him. Especially after seeing his team, like upon preview, he didn't have Conkelder to hit my Reuniclus hard on the physical side. You know, he was specially offensive Necrozma with Dark Pulse rather than Night Slash, so he wouldn't have been able to beat Reuniclus down like that. He was relying on flinches, and he told me his plan after the match was to rely on Dark Pulse flinches or crits and try and stall up my recovers. And that didn't make a lot of sense to me. It still doesn't make any sense to me. You know, it was really early in the morning for him. It was like 2:30 in the morning for him or something when we finished this battle, so maybe he just wasn't thinking straight, but that's a horrible plan. And what? That's a horrific plan. He's banking on a 20% flinch against my Reuniclus over and over and over again. He told me he was modest after the match. The crit still mattered. Modest was doing about 34%-ish without the Colberberry when I was at +1. So I get a recover off there, and I'm obviously slower. So he's doing 34. I get a recover off. I'm back up to 66 actually. So I'm gaining a lot of HP each time he's clicking Dark Pulse. And basically once I get to +2, his Dark Pulse isn't a 3-hit KO anymore. And at that point, I kind of just win the game with Reuniclus. As long as I can be healthy enough to live Z-move from Talonflame, I'm in a position where I just win the game. To be completely honest with you, I just win the game. His Blissy's straight setup fodder for me. Blissy's doing like 23% to me with Seismic Toss. It's not doing crap. I can recover up on that, Calm Mind against it if I really need to, but I probably don't because +2 Psyshock's going to demolish it. Superior can't do crap to me at +2. You know, even if he's like a Subseed variant, doesn't matter because I'm Magic Guard. He was a Subseed variant. The Manaphy can't do crap to me. You know, he's shown Toxic, which is like a Magic Guard, first of all. Latios won't be able to do crap to me at +2 because even a physical Latios set doesn't have the ability to break through physically defensive Reuniclus at that stage, and Shadow Ball is doing about 70% at +2. Yeah, that was my win con. I'm not going to lie to you guys. That was absolutely my win con. It was my way to break through his team. He didn't bring the Conkeldurr, which made it a lot easier for Reuniclus to do stuff. He didn't bring the Magnezone, which made it a lot easier for Reuniclus to do stuff. And that crit mattered a lot. That crit mattered a lot. You know, there's a couple ways for me to get back into this game here, but that was my setup threat. And so I really have to rely on Bandit Entei and Specs Keldeo to be able to pick some stuff off here, honestly, at the end of, in the middle of the game here. So I'm going to go into my Entei here, and I'm just going to click Bandit Return, see what I can get off here. And this Manaphy is fully physically defensive. So, alright then, I guess I was going to run Double Edge. I go for the return again, knowing that I'll live a Surf. But he's going to show Tail Glow. So he's fully physically defensive with Toxic Tail Glow? This is so whack. I don't understand this Manaphy set, honestly. Let me see where he posted it. His full set here. It didn't make a lot of sense to me as coverage options for my team. Just keep scrolling to see his team here. Yeah, so he was Surf, Energy Ball, Tail Glow, and Toxic. So he could hit Suicune, but he couldn't hit Rotom at all. He was relying on Toxic for Rotom. So I don't know if he just wasn't expecting my Rotom Mo to show up or something, but this Manaphy, just like the rest of his team, doesn't necessarily beat it. He's got to rely on Talonflame, which is also weak to Electric, and Electric's really easy to hit the Manaphy with. If I had wanted to, I could have brought a very specially defensive Rotom Mo, taken on this Manaphy and the Superior, and potentially a Mega Latios variant. So it's just really strange to me how he built this team. It had a lot of glaring holes if I had brought like different sets than what I had brought. And so it was just, like, really strange to me how he built. But obviously, my Entei is not going to be able to pick this off, and Extreme Speed is doing even less than Return. So I'm just going to go to my Clefable here. It's designed to beat a setup Manaphy variant, honestly. And so I'm just going to I'm just going to keep spamming Moonblast. And obviously, I'm not doing any damage to this, but maybe I can get a special attack drop for something else to come in, potentially. Or at the very least, I'm getting chip damage off. No crits from my side here. The one crit I had against the Necrozma is completely negated by the leftovers recovery it's had, and so I'm just going to have to sack off my Clefable. And then go into my Entei to pick off the kill here with Return. Pretty obvious play going for the Return there. I do get a crit, finally, but... well, not finally, but kind of justice, in a sense, for the crit that he got against Reuniclus. Problem being, it didn't matter at all. I was doing like 32% to the Manaphy anyways, so that was a completely irrelevant crit. Which means his Blissey gets to come in and set up rocks for free. I got on my Keldeo switch in. What I am going to do is he's going to protect the Secret Sword, and I'm going to go for the Toxic here. It was my best play against either the Necrozma or the Mega Latios coming in on the Secret Sword. I didn't really see a reason for Talonflame to come in and waste Gale Wings for any reason. And I'm just going to go into my Suicune. We tank this Draco Meteor pretty well. I didn't really have anything else to take it because my Clefable is now dead. Fucking kill me. And then I'm going to miss the Toxic on the Necrozma, which might matter a little bit here as it's nice chip damage against the Necrozma, but I do show to be faster than the Necrozma, so I'm going to get off the next Toxic. And I'm going to go for a Protect, predicting him to stay in because he can kill me with another Photon Geyser. And then I believe I'm going to go for the Surf, predicting him to switch out now that he can't kill me. Because I could just protect, like I could just Toxic Stall that Necrozma to death. But he is going to reveal the Heal Bell, I believe, this turn on the Blissey as I click Toxic against it. So all was pretty much undone by that, and I'm in a horrendous spot at this time. Just an absolutely horrendous spot as I'm going to Toxic the Blissey again, and Seismic Toss is obviously doing enough to deal with my Suicune here, which is unfortunate. So despite that, I can't pressure stall this Blissey to death. And I'm going to have to rely on Entei to kill this thing because I can't really bring in Keldeo on it when he's got the Mega Latios and the Necrozma really healthy. Ideally, I could put myself in a position where I click Surf and then maybe have dealt with Superior with something else, but I just have nothing to deal with Superior now anymore. At this stage, I'm going to try and live a hit from the Lati or hope that it misses Draco, but he's not going to miss Draco either. It is going to give me an opportunity to go into my Persian, and I'm going to click U-turn, I believe. Knowing that I forced the switch and be able to get in my Entei. For free, kind of. To an extent, at the very least. I do get to click Flare Blitz for free. But I'm taking a shitload of recoil because of Blissey. And then I'll be able to take the Necrozma down really low, but unfortunately I'm not going to be able to kill. He clicked the Heat Wave there, predicting my Persian to come in. I guess it was a fairly safe play. But I'm just going to claim the kill on the Necrozma with Punishment. And then I'm going to lose the game to Talonflame. It's going to Z-move my Persian here, and then it is going to click Brave Bird against my Keldeo. Yeah, so all in all, pretty poor game. In all honesty, I do feel robbed. I talked extensively with Vic after the game. I definitely, Vic's probably going to watch this afterwards, so I'm not going to hide myself for this one. I'm recording this May 6th, which is the day that we battled, and this will probably go up in, I don't know, like August or September, but just based on the timeline of getting like a game out a week. And so my salt will have probably all gone by the time this video goes live. Biggest issue here is that his plan was garbage. I'm not going to sugarcoat that. It was a horrible plan. And if he looks back at this, I really hope he realizes that his plan was really bad. Just because the math backed up the fact that he would get a Dark Pulse flinch 1 out of every 8 turns, doesn't mean that that was a good strategy to go for a Dark Pulse flinch and not prep at all for Reuniclus with the rest of his team. Very, very strange. It entirely relied on being able to flinch my Reuniclus and put it in a position where I wasn't healthy enough to take a Talonflame Z move, which I think is extremely ballsy, first of all, because that Necrozma, it really comes down to him making a double into the Talonflame on a turn where he's going to predict me not to just attack. And that is kind of what sketches me out, because that Necrozma set, while it could do enough damage to me at +1, as soon as I get to +2, that plan's fucked. That plan's entirely fucked as soon as I get to +2. He's doing like 20% or less than 20% with Dark Pulse at +2. And then from there, it just snowballs because I can just recover and continuously Calm Mind on him. And I can make sure that I'm always at a good amount of HP for the Talonflame. Because once I get to a certain level of Calm Minds, I believe it's +3. As soon as I get to +3, he's really not denting me with that Necrozma at all. And I can always make sure that I'm going to be healthy enough to take a Talonflame Z move and then recover the next turn and just be able to sweep his team, sweep his entire team. Why I'm salty is because I firmly believe without that crit, this is potentially a 6-0 for me. It really is all about theory mons. We'll never know exactly what happened because we didn't restart the game to find out. But if that crit doesn't happen, maybe he gets the flinch still, and maybe he kills me because of the flinch. So I don't know. Maybe he does get the flinch that turn in particular. He talked about getting 1 flinch out of 8 hits, and that just doesn't add up because it has to be a flinch on a specific turn where I'm low enough, or it has to be a flinch on a specific turn where I can't recover and then he can kill me the next turn. So while his math might back it up, in practice, that strategy is not going to work 9 out of 10 times. The 1 out of 10 times where based on his math, there was one. It was about 1 in 10. It was about 16%. So actually, it was 1 in 8 that I break through entirely and don't get flinched at all, and then I just win the game straight up from that. I'll be completely honest with you guys. I saw the sets. He had nothing, absolutely nothing for my Reuniclus with the rest of his team. His Latios didn't even have Shadow Ball. It had Draco, Psyshock, Defog, and Roost, which is complete setup fodder for Reuniclus after the fact. The Blissey was complete setup fodder for the Reuniclus after the fact. The only things threatening the Superior was also set, it would have just died, if we're being completely honest here. He might have been able to sub and then get a Leaf Storm off, and like continuously like sub and Leaf Storm that cycle. But the rest of his team was still Reuniclus fodder. And so all I needed to do was get him at a range where my Entei could pick it off with extreme speed. Like I could have just gone and sacked my Suicune if I really wanted to, got it in range of Entei's extreme speed, and then been able to kill it that way. And then I still get to bring Reuniclus in on the Blissey for free, or the Latios for free. So, I don't know, man. We take 3-0 loss, we get knocked out of quarterfinals. I feel robbed. I feel absolutely robbed. I feel like I had a really good matchup against TB in round 2, and unfortunately I'm just not going to be able to play. I'm not going to be able to show that game off. I hope I don't regret uploading this game with the amount of salt that I had in this, but it was just complete horseshit. It was exactly like my WPL match against Sohan. I really felt absolutely robbed in that game, and that was because of freeze plus a crit. And it just really feels like Reuniclus is sort of a magnet for this stuff, because to make a good Reuniclus set work, or a Reuniclus set that's going to work like that, you're relying on not getting hacked by crits and flinches and freezes and whatnot, and it just feels like it's a magnet for that. It really just feels like it's a magnet for that, and I'm not going to be able to get a game where Reuniclus can sit in front of something and actually just win the game by itself. Instead, it's just going to get hacked to death, and that's the game we play. There's just nothing I can do about that necessarily. It's just extremely frustrating when it continuously happens. And, the match against Sohan never ended up mattering at all. It didn't matter for seeding, didn't matter for anything like that, because we never ended up playing in playoffs. But this was a playoffs match, and so it was kind of bullshit to me that my win con got destroyed like that. And, you can say, okay, well, why did you switch in on the Photon Geyser then? Well, it's my Psychic Resist, besides the Persian, and we've seen how much the Heat Wave is doing to my Persian. I'm not doing any damage with Punishment to that Necrozma unless it's a setup variant, which is why I brought Punishment Persian, was for that, the Superior, the Manaphy, the Latios. It had a really good matchup against his team. The Punishment variant just really punished all of his setup variants, and it was getting melted by Heat Wave. Like, I just didn't stand a chance against that, because I was running attack investment and I was running max HP, and I was running a lot of speed investment so that I could outspeed the Latios. And so in a way I got punished by that. And maybe I should have just gone hard Suicune earlier on. Who knows? Who knows? Clefable getting worn down like that was super annoying. I definitely hate Unaware Clefable with a passion. It's such a bad set. Like, great, you don't get hit by boosting stuff, but like getting worn down by Toxic is just so fucking annoying. So the whole point of having 2 Magic Guard mons on this team is that I would be able to avoid the Toxic spam against my passive threats. And I guess I'll talk about this a little bit more in the season recap, but the team ended up being punished really hard by various aspects that in the draft analysis I thought I had mitigated, and so that's something I'll talk about in the season recap a little bit more. But that's gonna be for me. I don't know if I don't really care if you guys enjoyed this or not. It was a shit battle, but I'm gonna upload it because I want continuity and completion of the season, and I don't think that I'm necessarily gonna be up to record this and not discuss the Reuniclus plays in the way that I did ever. Like, maybe in a couple months when I'm not salty, but then I'm not going to remember anything from the game. So it was more important that I got this out with the proper thought process of the turns and whatnot. Yeah, that's gonna be for me. I don't know. I'll go through the season recap. I'm not sure when I'm going to record the season recap, if it's going to be after finals or if it'll be before finals. Probably before finals. Yeah, that's it for me, guys. Hopefully you check out more stuff later on. I don't know. We'll be back in red if there's another season. Don't worry about that. I have no intention of leaving red by any means, especially making playoffs in our first season in yellow. I'm definitely happy with that. Finishing top 6 out of 14 is definitely not the worst thing in the world. You know, I'll take playoffs, especially with how the end of our season went. I think we just lost 4 games in a row to end our season. So only so much you can do there. But yeah, that is it for me, finally. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.